Members of Parliament are usually the first port of call for assistance. Therefore, the government will be allocating $315 million or $5 million per constituency to assist the most vulnerable cases in communities across Jamaica. While the amounts to be recommended for the beneficiary are at the discretion of the Member of Parliament, grants should be within the range of $70,000 to $100,000 to make meaningful improvements to roofs, windows, and sideboardings to ensure that more Jamaican shelters can withstand the next heavy rainfall, tropical depression, or hurricane. Persons who are already beneficiaries of the hurricane relief grant will not be able to benefit from this allocation. We will be checking to ensure that there are no duplications, Mr. Speaker, of allocations across programs. I urge all members of Parliament to work closely with their constituents to identify those households that are most in need of assistance. It is essential that we focus on the most vulnerable, particularly those who cannot afford to repair their homes themselves. It is crucial.
Now, Jamaica, I want to ask you a valid question. I want to answer me down below in the comment section, please. Ono no see say Andrew Holiness take on for fool. Ono no realize say Andrew Holiness save up all of the hurricane money from last year, July, until this year, February. I saw in July again, you know. Almost 1 year now since burial blowing up people. Why Andrew Holiness get the money from last year, July and August, and this ready for help people who affected by hurricane burial. Uno no see say Andrew Holiness, they play politics right so. Uno no see it. Labour right and PNP and undecided voters. Uno no see say Andrew Holiness take hurricane money when get for help the Jamaican people and I play politics with it. Uno no look out on the eyes. From last year July, Andrew Holiness receive how much billions of dollars for help the people of Jamaica. Andrew Holiness still not help the people of Jamaica. Where did the people sleep? Where them stay during this 7 months? Where Andrew Holiness hold on pan the hurricane money for? Which part them stay? Him get money for help the farmers them. Him get money for fix up the road them back. And a hurricane money me a talk about where how much different country contribute to Jamaica for help the people them that were affected by hurricane burial. Andrew will save up all of the money till now when the election I go call. Now, him I go help the people them. Uno no see a politics, the man a play people. Uno no see. But, bless up to my viewers and my subscribers them. Me hope everybody having a blessed and a wonderful day. Now, my viewers and my subscribers, remember, in everything you do, always put God first in every and any situation. Just always remember to call upon God. Always remember to pray because a prayer day keep the devil away. Now, my viewers and my subscribers, we have a lot coming up inside this update, so you definitely don't want to miss none. So watch the video until the end. Remember, leave a like on this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed as yet. Make a run the intro and come back. We soon forward. People, remember, share the content. Andrew Holiness must go. So welcome back to my viewers and my subscribers them. Big up to all of my viewers, big up to all of my subscribers them. We continually support the channel and help the channel to grow. Now, Remember to leave a like on this video. Remember to give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you're a new viewers, first time on my channel, then please subscribe to my channel and turn on the post notification bell so whenever we drop new content, you will be first to be notified. Share the content with a friend, a family, a loved one. Share it on your social media platform. And people, remember, leave a like on this video. Now people, you have a station and a group of people over there at Nationwide News, right? Nothing at all with the Jamaican Labour Party do. Them not see it. But the least little fake news or the least little thing them hear about the People's National Party. Them not stop talk about it. Them depend if you all 1 week straight, 2 weeks straight, 1 month straight. No wonder if there is nothing else in this country for Nationwide News to talk about. Me wonder say if there is nothing else going on inside of this country for Nationwide News to talk about. There is a lot of corruption going on inside of the Jamaican Labour Party, and you will never see Nationwide News get up no time, no day at all, and speak about it. But every day, them try to find something to talk about with the People's National Party. It would have come like I say at PNP at the government. It would have come like I say a Mark Golding and the PNP in a government and I know Andrew Holiness. Now you have one little traitor, one little Judas, one little labor right boy what they call name sitting under the row, Lawrence Rowe. Where did upon the People's National Party side, we have create a lot of mischief. And them have him use him for destroy the PNP. Them don't know say him can destroy the PNP because the people of Jamaica already make up their mind. Say, guess what? Them done with labor right. No. This brother here and a member of the People's National Party were on a phone call, and this brother record the phone call and send it to the labor right them. Tell me say this John Cryer is a PNP. I want to tell me say this traitor here was a PNP. When you are trying to destroy the People's National Party. And then guess what? Me see one whole heap of body a jump up say, them a investigate PNP for corruption. And Nationwide News, they on PNP case like a thief. But me go make on hear one Nationwide News officer first before me play a video where I go expose Jamaican Labour Party. Just listen.
Is the PNP really using the KSAMC to try win seats? And the PNP know that they're being rigorously watched? And let me show you societal hypocrisy. Wasn't it last week I said to you, all now Nationwide don't do an exclusive on the mayor I sent on, you know. But the allegation of 300,000 Nationwide do what? Exclusive on it. Georgie Pargy, you have not to date questioned or even conceptualize or theorize what happened with Mayor Belnavis. But you're adamant that you and the syndicates at Bradley Avenue you know, you see what I talk about? The syndicates of Bradley Avenue.
And now to the details. Nationwide News understands that at least 2 anti-corruption agencies are investigating whether public money from the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, the KSAMC, was used to finance the political campaign activities of some of its representatives, including constituency caretakers. This investigation appears to be a consequence of the fallout between the PNP and its former caretaker of Central Kingston, Lawrence Rowe. Nationwide News has seen and heard conversations involving Rowe, PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell, and an employee of the KSAMC. The conversations raise serious questions about whether the PNP-controlled KSAMC is using the tax dollars of Jamaicans to shore up support for political representatives in its bid to help the PNP retake control of central government. Nationwide News has made several attempts over the last 3 days to provide Dr. Campbell, Lawrence Rowe, and the KSAMC employee opportunities to respond to the allegations. George Davis has this Nationwide News exclusive.
Nationwide News has seen a record of the conversations between Lawrence Rowe and the PNP General Secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell. One particular conversation happened on December 22, 2024, and began at 7:06 p.m. Rowe, who at the time was the PNP's caretaker in central Kingston, wrote to Dr. Campbell, quote, "I am beginning to wonder if there's any sincerity towards winning this seat by KSAMC. Let me tell you why." End quote. Rowe then explained to his General Secretary that Christmas work was done in downtown Kingston and he was only able to recommend 2 names to be engaged. Rowe complained that PNP caretakers in West Kingston and other areas were treated better. Rowe then complained that for the Christmas, the KSAMC only sent him $300,000, while the PNP leadership in Northwest St. Andrew received over $500,000. Rowe also lamented to Dayton Campbell that a senior official at the KSAMC, who's also a prominent member of the PNP, was in central Kingston giving money to some comrades without notifying him. The PNP controls the KSAMC. Dr. Campbell responded, telling Rowe that the monies were allocated strategically in light of the PNP's preparation for 2 by-elections.
I can tell you why that happened. That's because they put more money in the 2 divisions that we're going to have by-elections in. So we're going to have a by-election in Chancery, I'm going to have a by-election in Denham Town. So they put some more money in the 2 divisions that are going to have the by-elections.
Dr. Campbell then sought to reassure Lawrence Rowe that the PNP does indeed take seriously the job of winning central Kingston in the next general election.
Brother, Central Kingston is a Muslim city. Believe you me when I tell you, Central Kingston is a Muslim constituency. Everybody agrees that if we're going into government, which is our plan, we need Central Kingston. I don't know of nobody that said we can win.
Nationwide News understands that at least 2 anti-corruption agencies are probing the alleged use of monies for political purposes by the KSAMC leadership with the knowledge of the PNP Secretariat. It's understood that the probe is partly based on claims that several PNP representatives were contacted and told to collect hundreds of thousands of dollars from the KSAMC to use however they deem fit. Our news center has also seen a conversation between Rowe and an officer at the KSAMC, Audrey Smith-Facey. Smith-Facey served as PNP councillor for the Painland Division in Southwest St. Andrew for 23 years. She currently serves on the administrative support team for Kingston's mayor and the chairman of the KSAMC, Andrew Swaby. Her conversation with Rowe appears to support Rowe's claim to Dr. Campbell that he was given $300,000 cash by the KSAMC. On December 17, 2024 at 7:16 p.m., Smith-Facey wrote to Rowe, quote, "$300K, you determine what it is to be used for," end quote. Rowe responded, "Respect." And before closing out that part of the conversation, Smith-Facey told the then PNP caretaker, quote, "Note well, this is not for public knowledge," end quote. George Davis for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, our news center has been making several attempts to get an on-the-record response from the people involved for inclusion into our report. Mahiri Stewart has the details of our extensive efforts to get a comment from the leadership of the People's National Party.
We called Dr. Dayton Campbell's mobile phone 7 times between Tuesday and Wednesday to afford him the opportunity to respond to the matter. He was called 5 times between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. on Tuesday, January 28. On the 5th occasion, he answered the phone but refused to give us a response on the record. We attempted to contact him a further 3 times on Wednesday, January 29. Those calls were placed between 2 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. All 3 calls went to voicemail. On Wednesday evening, Dr. Campbell called our Deputy Executive Editor, George Davis, and spoke with him for 39 minutes. He was asked repeatedly to provide an on-the-record response to the issues raised for inclusion in the report. Dr. Campbell steadfastly refused, saying he would no longer be commenting publicly on any matter concerning Lawrence Rowe. At the end of the conversation, which began at 5:22 p.m., he again refused to entertain a request for an official comment on the record about the issues, despite being on the phone for 39 minutes. We cannot report any of what he said during the conversation because he was adamant that he was off the record. His discussions with Davis was the second off-the-record conversation with our news center. On Tuesday, January 28, he spoke with Ricardo Brooks for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. He also refused our request then to go on the record. Kingston's Mayor Andrew Swaby was called 7 times between Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. 4 calls were placed to his mobile phone on Tuesday between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Another 3 calls were placed to his mobile phone on Wednesday between 2 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. All calls went to voicemail. Councillor Facey was contacted 11 times between Tuesday and Thursday. None of the calls were answered. Messages were left with both Facey and Mayor Swaby asking for a return call in relation to the story being pursued. We also attempted to contact Lawrence Rowe by telephone multiple times over the past 3 days. His phone did not even ring.
So now, people, nationwide news is the only news with this story. As me always tell you know, a nationwide news alone run with all of them story because so far, me no see nobody else I run with them story. So the question is, why is nationwide news trying so hard to bring down the People's National Party? The Prime Minister of 28 bank account, and you never hear nationwide news get up and sing pan it yet. The Prime Minister Estate Bridge, all of the corruption they go along over the Jamaican Laird Party. You know, hear nationwide news and nothing at all about it. But yet still, them living a PNP back like a ticks people. Now, how can they be trusted? Now, me go play one video for you guys. And you're going to say nationwide news really biased. Just listen how corrupted the Jamaican Labour Party be when you listen to this video, people. You understand what I say? When you listen to this video, you're going to find out how corrupted the Jamaican Labour Party be regarding to the $3.6 trillion that went missing. And I want you to tell me, if you don't hear nationwide news, get up and sing pan this, like how you hear them get up every day with false information about the People's National Party. They are a national disgrace. People, like up the video.
Minister, I'm going to ask you to just take the other 2 questions.
Okay.
The other, I see, Mr. Rattigan, I hope you're going to be your best self tonight. So let me acknowledge you, and so it would be Mr. Sharp, Dr. Knight, and Mr. Rattigan. Go ahead,
Yes,
Mr.
Ambassador, good night.
Good
And
night.
Minister, good night. All protocols observed. Minister, I listened to your overview very carefully, and I noticed that you did not mention the impact of corruption on all the aspects you described. But be that as it may, 2 questions. But let me just set the stage for the questions. On September 12th of 2020, you were appointed the Minister of Education. A year later, the Auditor General came out with a report saying that a company by the name of Joint Committee for Tertiary Education received approximately 124 million Jamaican dollars that they should not have received. And she recommended a surcharge action as well as possible fraud action. After that, the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Education, they started pointing fingers as to who should bring this surcharge action. While they were doing that, the statute of limitation expired. And they brought the action against the acting permanent secretary, Ms. Grace McLean. The action was dismissed because of the statute of limitations. Since then, to the best of my knowledge, no action has been brought to recover this $124 million. Now, here's where we are. A few weeks ago at the post-cap meeting, you said that there is no missing funds. And this 124 million is part of the alleged 3 trillion that's unaccounted for. The statute of limitation for fraud action will expire this year. So if there is no action this year, that $124 million is gone and no one's going to prison. The question I have for you is this. Since you have said there are no missing funds, you haven't told us what the funds are. You just said there are no missing funds. Could you please describe to all of us the $124 million that's at risk for not going to help the children of Jamaica? And we talk about growth and development. You can't do that with an under or uneducated population. How do you describe that $124 million, and will we get it back? What's your plan to recover that $124 million? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rattigan. So you have 4.
Mr. Rattigan, you asked about JETC and the issue with that entity. That entity was providing training to the education sector. Some questions were raised about the 124 million. All the information that we had in the ministry at the time was turned over to the respective agencies. It has taken them quite some time now, but I can tell you, it might be long, but I'm sure that they will complete their investigation. In terms of the $3 trillion, I just want to explain that within government, the management of our funds has many guardrails. And what that entity, the organization that talked about that 3 million is that, and I had to explain this, there is a central ministry, a central budget for the country. It's called the Consolidated Fund, into which the majority of the funds flow. Before any ministry is assigned any money on an annual basis, they present their budget. For the year, they have to outline what it is they're spending on. We have a very rigorous procurement process. I mean, we are belly aching about it, given the strictures of that process. So there is knowledge about what money is spent on. Additionally, ministries are given funds on a monthly basis, and they have to submit their cash flow statements to the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. And again, we have strict procurement guidelines, not just for infrastructure, but for services. You go through a whole process. So eyes are looking, there are persons looking over the process. What the Auditor General reported is that at various ministries, they are supposed to have audited statements. And there are ministries that are late for different reasons. Coming from the Education Ministry, there's a situation in which when I got there, accounts were not at that point where the information could go to the Auditor General. Since then, I can assure you that that ministry has done a lot of work, and many years of its statements are before the Auditor General. And I have a commitment to work with all the other ministries that are out of compliance with the Auditor General as to the submission of their information to be audited. So it's not that there has been no accounting of the monies. There has been proper accounting of it, and a lot of different guardrails are there, but they need to make that final step to produce the statements that can be audited. Just like if you have a business, you can produce financial statements and they're good and proper. Your accountant would have done it and so on. But in a business, you have to get that final, sign off from the auditors. And that is where we are, with some of the ministries. But like I said, we have had some success since 2020 with the largest ministry being able to submit several years worth of information to the Auditor General.
All right. Thank you so much, Minister. And I see where your very extensive financial background will be in use in helping all our ministries to get their accounts up to date in front of the Auditor General and get this misconception that being late means that monies have disappeared. So I'm very, very appreciative of your response, and I look forward to continuing to hear about the ministries getting up to date.
Now, when you listen to that, people are strictly corruption a year. But you will never hear Cliff Hughes and Nationwide News talk about it. They will never highlight the real corruption inside of this country. But they are quick to target Mark Golding and the PNP. Cliff Hughes, you are nothing but a corruption. You and the Prime Minister is a set of corrupted individuals who no corrupt and people tired of you now. And that's why the people them say time come if you no come down. Time come for Nationwide News and Andrew Wallace step aside. Uno is a set of corruption. But then again, people, Andrew Wallace I write off how much millions of dollars worth of tax for Cliff Hughes allegedly. So what wanna think, people? Wanna think say Cliff Hughes are gonna let down his best friend, his buddy, Andrew Wallace? No, him not gonna do it. So people, and we the people of Jamaica have to stand up for the country. Because we can't depend on Cliff Hughes to stand up for Jamaica for we. Because Cliff Hughes is nothing but a corruption just like the Prime Minister. But people stay to talk down below in the comment section, people. And remember, we burn corruption. We fight against corruption. We don't support corruption into corruption. And we don't care which side. Once a corruption, we are call it out. We are expose it. And we are show it to the people of Jamaica. We not be biased like them. You understand? But people stay to talk down below in the comment section. And as usual, people, remember, leave a like on this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed as yet, and turn on the post notification bell for new content. Alright? Check this video out.
To defend the Auditor General tonight. Because the man come forward to say that she is either ignorant, incompetent, or of malice. Now the Auditor General spoke the truth that 3.4 billion with a B, not with a M, was granted to the housing project for Andrew Holiness program under his ministry. He said that he never spent the 3.4 billion. Then I want to know, if you get 3.4 billion and don't spend it in your 9 years, if that is not incapable and incompetent. He then said that he needs 6,000 houses for the poor and the indigent. In 9 years, he built less than 300. It means it will take 200 years for him to build 6,000. I want to know a Prime Minister who have a plan for 200 years, if that is not incapable.
You talk and you use my words. I just want to remind you about the campaign when Andrew Holiness was challenged for leadership and the scurrilous accusations which were made against him. And I want to remind you in particular that Minister Delroy Chuck, who now twists himself in a pretzel, over the Integrity Commission to the point where people are saying, is everything okay with Minister Chuck?
Oh, so what?
Was one of those who said that Andrew should resign.
Yes.
Because after the court ruling, he said he was not fit to lead the Jamaica Labour Party. What can go so?
What can go so?
So we have come such full circle in the protection of the leader. The leader has not been certified. From all accounts, there are matters which are concerning and it cannot be certified. And none of you find a problem with that? It's not one of us, is not just a senator, is not just a parliamentarian. Is a person who sets the moral compass for the entire country. And on top of it, he goes to the court to ask the court to declare a bill which was passed by this government of Jamaica in 2017, piloted by Minister Delroy Chuck, who now criticizes every clause as though he has never read it. The Prime Minister goes to the court to ask the court to declare it unconstitutional. It is amazing that the double standards are so glaring to the public that they see that parliamentarians will do everything to protect themselves. And if the law don't suit them, then just simply go to court or change it. The people deserve more. The people deserve better. And that is why they have asked for impeachment provisions, because they want a say.